Both sets of my grandparents have recently told me that I'm too skinny, so I'm going on a year-long bulk. Now I know you're thinking, what is wrong with your grandparents? Because I'm clearly fucking massive, so there must be something wrong with them. But nonetheless, I am going to be going on a year-long bulk, and I'm going to be doing a lean bulk. I don't want to gain any body fat or much body fat in the process. And the point of this is to show you exactly the steps that I'm going to be taking to gain as much muscle as I possibly can within the next year. So if you're someone who is skinny and you want to do the same, you can follow the steps and gain as much muscle as possible in the next year. So to start with, I'm currently around 73 kilos. I'm 5'9", so that's like, I want to say 178 centimeters, and that would be about 165 pounds-ish for anyone who uses those metrics. And I'm probably around, I'd say around 14% body fat if I had to hazard a guess. And the plan is to maintain that body fat percentage. I don't want to gain any unnecessary fat. So how am I going to do so? Well, I've started tracking. I don't ever track when I bulk. I don't really bulk. I've done one dirty bulk in the past and it was horrible. It was miserable. I hated every second of it. I just got fat, and when I cut down, I actually lost all of the strength that I had gained, all of the weight that I had gained, and I basically gained zero muscle mass anyway. And if I'm honest, the whole process was completely miserable. I felt shit all the time. I was tired, I was lethargic, I could actually barely run, and I'm quite a keen runner when I get into it. That's my favorite form of cardio. So to be able to not do that was quite bad. I remember I started training for a Tough Mudder, which was a 10-mile obstacle race, and I was running, but my legs weren't moving. It felt like my body wasn't moving, and I just couldn't get past a comfortable, like what I would call a slow run back in the day. But I was 15 kilos heavier. So the plan is to stay and maintain a lean weight. So how am I going to do that? Well, this is exactly how. I am tracking my weight daily. Now, the most important part here is to not worry about the daily weights itself, but at the end of the week, from Monday to Sunday, you're going to take an average of that weight, and then the following week, you're going to do the same. Every week you want to increase by a very, very small amount. So I'm talking 0.1 to 0.25 kilos at most. That is how much you want to be gaining on a weekly basis. So at the end of each month, you're looking to gain maybe half a kilo to a kilo at the very, and that would be the top end a kilo. You don't want to go any more than 0.25. If you do, your calories are too high, you want to bring them down. So at the moment, I'm eating around 2,900 to 3,000 calories on a daily basis, depending on what I'm doing. And the way that I figured that out was through going on calorie calculator. Well, I've got my own calorie calculator, but you can go on Google and just type in calorie calculator, and you can just put all your data, so your height, your weight, your goals and everything, and it will give you exactly the calories you need to progress. Eat those calories every single day. If you eat them every day for a week and your weight has gone down, you need to up your calories. If your weight has gone up too much, you need to reduce your calories slightly. So I would say every 2 weeks, review your calories. At the end of 2 weeks, if your weight's gone up too much or gone down too much, you might want to add a little bit more or reduce them a little bit. Nothing crazy, only by 100 or 200. So say, for example, at the moment, I'm eating 2,900 calories. After my first 2 weeks, I actually am 0.1 kilos down. So I'm going to eat 2,900 calories again this week. And if there is no change or it goes down again, I will increase that to say 3,000 to 3,100 calories. And I'll keep doing that until the average weight starts to go up. So that is what I'm doing in terms of my nutrition and tracking my weight. And I do this on an Excel document, and I use the app Cronometer or Chronometer to track my calories. But my weekly average weights are on an Excel document because that's how I find it to be easier for me. But with all my clients, it's all within an app that you can use yourself. And by the way, I'm offering a 20% discount. There are 2 spots remaining for my Lean Into Summer program, which is linked below. If you want to get shredded for an excellent price this summer and actually be oozing with confidence instead of avoiding photos, click the link below. Anyway, I digress. Next is my training splits. Now, my training is not changed remotely. I've got exercises that I enjoy, and I am following at the moment a 4-day gym split with 2 full body push focus sessions and 2 calisthenic style front lever style training sessions, because I'm trying to get the front lever as well. My 2 push day sessions, I will post a video on what that includes, but it normally involves flat bench press, and I've got an incline fly machine, which is excellent, a lateral raise, a tricep extension and a tricep push down, and one leg exercise. That might be a quad extension, that might be a leg press, or that might be a hamstring curl, one of the sorts. And I might actually do a shrug on those days as well. But I'll actually list what I do, and I will also do a video breaking down my days as well. And then on my pull stroke calisthenics days, I'll do some calisthenics front lever specific to style training, some pull-ups, and finish with some biceps, 2 bicep exercises, and again, 1 more leg exercise if I have time. Every single one of them will be 2 working sets per exercise at most. 1 or 2 exercises, I might only do 1 working set, but the main thing here is you train to failure. Pick whatever split you want. You don't need to do more than 2 exercises per set. You just have to train to failure. The rep range doesn't matter. Just make sure you're training to failure. That is the most important thing if you want to grow muscle. So far, weighing in every day and checking my weekly average, eating 2,900 calories, which is a very, very slight surplus for me, and weight training 4 times per week, training to the correct intensity. And lastly, for the weight training, I'm going to be aiming to progress my lifts every, say, 2 to 3 weeks. So for example, at the moment, my bench press, I'm currently at 90 kilos for 7 reps. I started benching 90 kilos a couple of weeks ago, and I started at 90 kilos for 6 reps. I'm now up to 90 kilos for 7 reps after, let's say, 4 weeks, or 4 sessions, that's 2 weeks. So I've increased my bench press by 1 rep in 2 weeks. That is absolutely fine. Also, the 7 reps are now cleaner compared to when I first hit the 7 reps. That last rep on when I first hit 90 for 7 was quite a struggle. Now it's still a struggle, but it's less of a struggle. That is progressive overload. So you want to progressively overload your lifts every couple of weeks so you know that your strength is increasing. If you are not increasing in strength, you are not training hard enough or you're not training smart enough. So you need to be increasing the number of reps or the number of weight every couple of weeks. When you get to say 8 to 12 reps, then you increase the weight and then you go back down. So say when I get to 8 reps for my bench press, I will then increase it to 92.5 and I might only hit 6 reps on 92.5 and I'll keep doing that 92.5 until I hit 8 reps and then again I'll increase it to 95. If I'm doing something like a bicep curl or a lateral raise, I will go to a higher rep range just because it's less taxing. If I'm doing a bench, a squat or a deadlift or something like that, I will go on the lower rep range just because it takes more out of you essentially. But with the smaller exercises, the isolation exercises that are less physically exerting, I will go up to say 10 to 12 reps. But again, it doesn't really matter. As long as you're getting to the 8 to 12 rep range, you can then increase the weight, providing you're taking that to failure. So training intensity is the most important thing and progressive overload as well. On top of that, I will be taking progress photos and progress videos in the same lighting each week. So there's no good me taking some progress photos in the gym where the lighting is excellent and I actually do look fucking wham, and then taking some photos at home in the bathroom where the lighting is terrible and I look like an actual fucking bean sprout. You have to take the photos in the same lighting. I don't care where it is, just make sure it's consistent so you can actually compare the difference in your physical appearance, because trust me, the biggest motivator is looking at photos side by side to see how far you've come. Because if you just look in the mirror, it's very hard sometimes to actually see any progress. So you need to have a physical comparison or a physical picture to compare back to. So you don't need to do this every week, but once a month minimum, I would say, because that is when you'll notice more changes. So if you have one at the start of your journey, so I'll take some now, and then in 6 months' time, I can look back at this photo or these photos and I can see, actually, even though I don't look like it in the mirror, looking at these 2 photos, I've come a hell of a long way. What else will I be doing? In terms of my calories, I guess I'm not going to be eating only whole foods because it's much harder to eat high calories than only whole foods. So my diet at the moment, I'm not going to lie, is actually pretty shit just because I need to get my calories in. I don't like my protein target. Again, I haven't mentioned protein target. My protein target, I'm going for around 140 grams a day. And that is because I weigh around 70 kilos. So I'm timesing that by 2. You don't need to go any higher than that. Anything more than that is excessive. In fact, anything a little bit less. For me, 130 would be enough. So times it by 2, that's a sweet number. That means that you'll be within the right range for your protein. But if anything, calories are more important at this stage than protein. But try and keep the protein just under times 2 your body weight. So if you weigh 60 kilos, aim for around 120 grams of protein and so on. But again, calories are more important. Focus on the calorie target first. Progressive overload and you will be gaining muscle. It's as simple as that. that's about it really. It's not that hard. It's quite simple. I've gone into quite a lot of detail there. And again, if you need help with that, if you need help with growing muscle, click the link below for one-to-one coaching, as I will design everything for you so you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is follow a structured plan that works around your lifestyle. But that, I believe, summarizes everything. Hopefully that is gone into enough detail for you. If you are trying to bulk, then follow these steps, and I promise you, you will gain muscle. If you have any questions, comment below. Follow me on all of my socials, Kieran Yap Fitness on Instagram, TikTok, and this channel, obviously. On Facebook, it is CYap Fitness. On LinkedIn, it is Kieran Yap. And as always, if you haven't already, please subscribe, comment if there's anything you want to see me break down, and like for the sake of the algorithm. Everything will be in the comments below for all my free copies of everything that I have to help you on your journey. I'm waffling on now, but I'll see you on the next one.